Well, can you handle the truth? That's what I want to talk about today. You all remember that famous, I think I'll put it in the thumbnail here, that famous meme of Jack Nicholson as the Marine officer screaming at the little boy Tom Cruise, "You can't handle the truth." Well, a lot of people can't, and that's what I want to talk about today. Before we get to that, a couple of things. By the way, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. All of the information for this summer's gathering, the get-together, Integrated Preparedness / Stonemont Gathering, will be on, is posted on every one of the videos that I put on Patreon. If you're not familiar with how that works, when I shoot a video, it goes on YouTube. Well, not all of them go on YouTube. A lot of them go on YouTube, but there's others that don't go on YouTube, only go on Patreon. But that the ones that you see on YouTube, I also put on Patreon, and then I can put links and things to other things. When they're on Patreon, I can put the links to things, and I have put all of the links for the gathering about where it is, when it is, camping, things like that close by, and also the link to register to come to it. It doesn't cost anything. We just want to know how many people are going to be there because I have a couple of things planned, and all of those links are on the Patreon. So those who are watching us on Patreon, you have all those links available to you. Those are watching on YouTube do not. So anyway, let us know if you want to be there. It's going to be a great time. I look forward to meeting everybody, right? The second thing is, as I keep saying, I want to keep reminding we are sold out of books. The Stonemont series, we are sold out here. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't still order through the website, because I had a couple of people ask me that. Does that mean I can't get any books, signed books from you anymore? No, it just means that we happen to be out right now. We put on an order for a new load. When they get here, then I'll start signing them. We'll start shipping them out. But essentially, you can consider if you're going to order through the website now and you want them signed by me, which I love to do, they're going to be on back order until we get the new load in, and then we'll get them out. If you want them right away, you get them through Amazon. And the links to both of those are down below, the Stonemont link and the Amazon link. And you can get them through Amazon on either paperback or Kindle or Audible. I can't get them to you for Kindle and Audible, but you get them through Amazon if you want that. But if you want the books directly from me, like I said, I love to do it. I get to sign them for you, write a little note in there, and feel free, and we'll get them to you. Okay, can you handle the truth? Now you probably think that from that title, I'm going to be talking about horrible things that are possibly coming, and to an extent I am, but I'm going to be talking about something else also that I think is every bit as important, about people who can't seem to handle certain truths, and it keeps them from preparing properly. Okay? I was going to do one today on these reports that CBDC is coming, that was it the House that passed a bill? Some people have said they passed a law. No, they didn't. It's not law until it's signed into law. It has to go through the House and the Senate and signed by the President to become a law. That's how laws are made. But apparently, somebody said it was passed through the House of Representatives to make CBDC a certain thing, and it's now all the banks are all geared up for it. They're all ready. And blah blah blah, and a lot of what did he say? There have already been trial transactions sent internationally for this. Okay, let me wind around this. I was going to make a video on that, but I saw that Pinball Preparedness already made one on it, and what he said was exactly right. So I'm just go watch his if you want. But I'll tell you one thing that I was going to say, that when I saw that, and I think I know the videos that he was referring to. I saw them myself, and when I saw them, I went, I called a friend of mine who happens to be not just somebody that I happen to talk to somewhere, happens to be the head of digital security at a major bank. Now, I don't mean a major neighborhood bank. I mean a major regional bank. And I asked him, I said, hey, what's going on with the CBDC? He says, we have heard absolutely nothing about it. There are no plans for it. There are no, and he would remember, he is with the digital security for this major bank system. It's a system. It's not, like I say, it's not the guy on the corner or a small town bank. He says, no, there's nothing coming through our pipeline on that at all. Okay, this leads into what I want to talk about. Many people cannot handle the truth. Let me start by saying horrible things very possibly could be coming. And probably the next one I'm going to do is about the potential for the war, civil war, internal war, revolution, whatever, starting in Chicago, having to do with and how it relates to the Democrat National Convention coming up. But I think there are reasons to believe that the war, not the world war that everybody wants everybody to be concerned about, but the war here in the United States could start in Chicago. And I'll be talking about that and giving you some resources to look at on that. So yeah, there are horrible things that could happen. Either that, we could be, our grid could come down, the economic system could collapse. All of these things could happen. They could happen individually. They could happen together. Okay, and the horrors that would accompany that, I think, are beyond the ability of most people to even imagine. Now, those of you who have been with me know this. Those of you who are kind of new may not know this. I wrote the Stonemont series, the reversion, the revival, the renewal, an appeal to heaven, the blessings of freedom, and hostages to fortune. And I just finished the 7th book that I'm in the process of copy editing right now on Wings Like Eagles. These are 7 books in which I detail the collapse of everything. They're novels, but I packed them full of preparedness, what you should do to get ready for it, and then how to survive it, and then how to rebuild from it. And all of these things are possible. They are not possible for the people who won't consider it. Okay? They are not possible for those who refuse to get ready, who refuse to prepare. So those people, no, they're not going to do well at all. They won't last the first 12 months, depending on what happens. And there you go. But I want to ensure everyone out there, because occasionally I'll get somebody say, you don't realize how horrible things could get. Well, I've written 7 books about that. How about you, compadre? So yeah, I do. I realize every bit. I spent most of my adult life dealing with the horrors of life that most people never even dream about. So I get it, okay? But I want to warn against another that I consider almost as dangerous truth that many people can't handle. And that truth is that the world is probably not coming to an end tomorrow. Bad things could happen, but every time you hear of something that is supposedly the end of the world, the country, the economy, whatever like that, the truth is, it's probably not so in the immediate future. Okay, now with the exception of if the grid comes down, whether through cyber or CME or EMP or whatever, okay, now we're dealing with that. Okay, now we are dealing with a total existential threat. But for the most part, if we're talking about the economy, if we're talking about CBDC, if we're talking about the fact that, Russia, Ukraine have escalated a notch, or ships are surrounding Taiwan, Chinese ships, or or whatever, and people get wrapped up in these things. I know a lot of these people. Now, it may not be you, so I may not be talking about you. What I'm saying is that when this becomes the driving concern of a person who thinks that they are a prepper, it consumes their lives, it consumes their energy. They go to these, they think about these things because it satisfies an addictive need, okay? Because that kind of thing becomes an addiction just like anything else. They need their rush, they need their dopamine, they need their doom right for the day. Doom of the day. What's the doom of the day that I can worry about, that I can get all wired about? That gives me I'm not me, but that gives that person a reason to feel something. And I think that in a lot of cases, the people who who succumb to that, the people who are most ready to accept or have a need for that are the people with very little else going on in their lives, and that's a danger. Okay. The truth that they can't handle is the truth that life will probably continue to go on pretty much the way it is, pretty much the way it has been, although it's going to get increasingly worse. And that's more difficult for many people to think about, to accept, to handle than the impending catastrophe, because it takes daily concern, daily application of responsible movements, if you want to put it that way. Okay, every day, it's the tortoise and the hare, right? And real preparedness is really kind of plotting, but it's a very responsible plotting. It's one foot in front of the other, and then the next, and the next, and the next. It's the old, the longest journey begins with a single step. I always tell people that there's two parts to every job: getting started and then continuing the job until it's finished. Okay? And after that first step of the longest journey, it's followed by the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and the next step. The danger in the people who are always needing the daily doom is that it keeps them from going those next steps. They operate under this false promise, almost to them, that everything is going to collapse. Everything is going to be horrible. It's all coming to an end. And it stops and it paralyzes them. Now, some, it drives them to irresponsible preparedness. And what I mean by that is that they spend money they don't have, they spend time they don't have, they spend mental energy that should be applied somewhere else. And that drives them into a worse situation. They're emotionally wired, they're out of money, they're spent all their time on this stuff. They have family problems. Okay? They have problems in their family because they become consumed by this. It's no longer a responsible endeavor. It's a neurotic endeavor. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be concerned daily with preparedness, nor does it mean that the channels who approach this responsibly shouldn't, but they should, because there is great. I know several channels out there that I think are just great. They do a great job of talking about the news of the day. And these are things that people should know about. I mentioned one earlier, Pinball Preparedness does that very well. He talks about the things that are happening around the world. You should know that. He does a better job than if you watch the cable news networks. Another is Alaska Prepper. He does a great job. Another that still so many of the people who are jealous of him don't like to talk about is Canadian Prepper. All of these people do a great job of talking about the things that are coming down the road that you should probably keep your eye on and be concerned about, whether they are geopolitical, whether they are financial, whether they are governmental, whatever it is. You should keep track of those things. Those are good to watch and to keep your mind. And then when you've heard the news, you go about your day and you continue prepping responsibly with that information in your quiver. Okay, what's happening? For instance, one of them will tell you, okay, what's happening with the interest rates? What's happening with the Fed? And what's happening with this? I tend not to do that myself. Occasionally, I might mention it. I pretty much have my plan down, and you have to learn how to dance. You have to learn how to dance with the economic system, and that takes a lot of experience and learning and things like that. And it's just not what I care to talk about on a daily basis. But these other guys, you should listen. But what I like to stress on a daily basis, and I never get tired of stressing it, is the importance of responsible preparedness. I always say, those of you who have been with me have heard me say this 100 times. Preparedness is responsibility. It is the ultimate responsibility and the ultimate irresponsibility. The person who does not prepare is a person who is irresponsible. But the person who is neurotic about it is also a person who is irresponsible because they aren't allowing enough time, mental energy, and money to be put to other things to ensure that the quality of their life continues along while the world continues along the path that it's going now. Okay? While we do sacrifice some things of today to prepare for the future, it doesn't mean that you sacrifice your entire life. Okay? So my whole point in this is there is a truth, and sometimes it's hard to see. Sometimes it's hard to judge. You have to weigh it. You have to see what's going on, and do your best to respond, not react, but respond to what's going on in the world to ensure your preparedness and the quality of your life and the life of those who depend on you. But you have to be willing and able to deal with the truth of the matter, not filling yourself or satisfying a neurotic addiction because I shouldn't say you, a person shouldn't do that because they don't have enough going on in their life that's positive, and they actually need, they got a negative Jones. They need a shot of the doom. They need a shot of the negative to keep them feeling alive. Okay, it is like a junkie. I mean, I don't know how many of you ever known heroin addicts, but man, it's not the addict himself. Right after he gets his shot, he's feeling, good numb. Finally, the anxiety is gone. But then he goes through the withdrawal, and the anxiety's back, and and it's kind of the same thing. It's taken to an extreme. Almost anything can be addictive, and I don't want to see people, because I've seen people's personal lives fall apart because of their neurotic approach to preparedness, and that's no good. What purpose does that serve? It serves no purpose. It's destructive. So that's what I wanted to say today. Can you handle the truth? Can you handle the truth that things may just get horrible beyond your ability to imagine? Can you also handle the truth that it very well may continue going on the way it is, getting, marginally worse and worse and worse each day, but that you need to handle your life and address each day responsibly, taking the small steps, with a clear mind and a clear head. And you can't have a clear mind and a clear head and a clear eye if what you're needing is a daily dose of doom. Get out of the doom. Get out of the doom and get into to taking charge of your life. Okay, be aggressive. Don't let life do you. You do life. So that's what I wanted to say. The truth will set you free, but you have to be willing. Okay, don't live your life under this cloud that satisfies the souls of the negative. Okay, all right. I'm going to go do a bunch of stuff. I have a whole bunch of positive things to do. I'm going to continue copy editing the new book. Remember, like I say, you can still order through stonemont.us. It's just they'll just be on back order for a few weeks, and then we'll get them to you. If you want to get to that the summer gathering this July 13th, it's in the Kansas City area on the Kansas side. That's all I'll say on YouTube. But if you want to join us there, all the information is on the Patreon channel. The link to that is down below. Just sign up, cost you $1 a month, and then you'll be able to click the links and get all the information and register for it and everything like that. And we would love to have you. So get out there. Don't worry about all the latest things that are supposed to just destroy the universe, the world, the country, or you, and live a life that's worth living. Okay? And keep preparing, because the day will come when you'll be really glad you did. All right. You all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.